You are working hard being the woman of your dreams. But no matter how much inner work you do, there seems to always be that one person in your life that keeps pulling you back. The friend that only calls you when you need something, or the situationship that is all in one day and then completely ghosts you and ignores you the next day. Because listen, if you don't recognize these people right from the start, they may permanently ruin your confidence, your peace, and maybe your entire life. Hi, I'm Jasmine, and in this channel, I help you become the woman of your dreams and to help you build a life that you absolutely love. And in this specific video, we're going to be going through 5 types of people who will sabotage your growth and will ultimately ruin your life, and how to spot them before they get too close. And if you are truly on the path to elevating your life and being the best version of yourself, these people will drag you down. And as women, of course, we don't want to assume the worst in people, and the point of this video isn't to make you feel wary of every person that you meet, and my intention isn't to try to convince you to assume the worst in people, but it's to alert you that not everyone deserves your energy, that as a high-value woman, your presence and your energy is completely sacred. A high-value woman is incredibly selective with who she spends time with. That's why one of the most crucial steps in becoming a high-value woman is to be aware of who is in your circle, and being aware of who these 5 toxic people are. Make sure you watch to the end of this video because the 5th person I'm sharing is literally the sneakiest and the most pervasive of all. I've also included chapters for this video, so you can skip around. You can also find the timestamps in the description below. And if you're somebody who is ready to do the real work, not just watching these videos, but actually transforming in the process, I've created free worksheets for every single one of my videos. Inside, you will find deep journaling prompts and practical exercises to help you untangle old limiting beliefs and also to help you build an action plan so you can start living as your highest self. The link to access is in the description below. So let's introduce these 5 toxic people. The first is Narcissistic Nate. Narcissistic Nate thinks the sun shines out of his LinkedIn bio. He's the kind of person that walks into a room and assumes that you are so lucky to be able to breathe the same air that he's breathing. There is no room for doubt. He is already the main character of the room. And you are essentially the supporting cast in his mental movie. At first, when you meet someone like Nate, you are incredibly drawn to him. You think he's charismatic, very well spoken, well dressed, and he presents himself very well. He's probably great at dinner parties and knows how to make the perfect first impression. But give it a little time, the crack will start to show. Suddenly, your achievements become his competition. Your emotions are too much. And somehow, he always finds a way to make your bad day about himself. And he operates under this worldview that I am superior. Whoever doesn't agree with me is either stupid or delusional. He loves special treatment, and he always cuts in line and breaks the rules, metaphorically and literally, because he believes he's special, that rules don't apply to him. But underneath his ego is actually a very fragile core, though you'll rarely, if ever, get to see it. But what you will see, though, is a ton of projection, blaming, and the talent to turn any personal disagreement into a betrayal. If you dare to outshine him, criticize him, and God forbid, actually set a boundary, brace yourself, because he is going to make his tantrum the most sophisticated thing ever. And look, we all have moments of being full of ourselves sometimes, and I get to toot my own horn sometimes, but the pattern that you want to pay attention to is consistency. For Nate, he's not in the business for real connection, but he actually just wants someone to reflect back on how amazing he is. If you stop doing that and you stop giving him validation, he is going to drop you just like that. So how do you deal with a Nate? And it's pretty simple. Just don't feed his ego. Don't get pulled into debates about how amazing he is or how right he is. Don't try to fix him. Don't try to win him over. And definitely don't criticize him unless you're ready for a long-term grudge. And if you've been dating a narcissistic Nate for a long time and you're wondering, but he was never like this in the beginning. Remember, narcissistic Nates are amazing at giving the best first impression. But what he's revealing to you now, that's his real self. The second type of person who will absolutely ruin your life is borderline Barbara. Borderline Barbara is someone who is a passionate lover. She feels very deeply. When she first meets you and befriends with you or is getting to know you, she will shower you with love and affection and will buy you gifts and will go above and beyond, making sure that you're happy. She will make you feel like the most important person in the world. And in the beginning, she's warm, she's thoughtful, and she may be a little seductive as well. She truly makes you feel so seen and so heard, and like you finally met someone who truly gets you. But wait for it. The other side is about to burst. And it usually doesn't take long. 1 minute, you're laughing over dinner, and then the next minute, boom, a switch flips. You've done something wrong, probably again. You don't know what it is yet, but she's mad about something. Her mood changes from absolutely loving to incredibly devastating in just seconds. And for you, you're literally sitting here wondering what you did wrong. It is the classic, I love you, I hate you. And when you're around Barbara, you often feel like you're always walking on eggshells around her, and you're wondering whether she's gonna explode today or not. 1 second, you are everything to her, and then the next, you are her worst enemy. There is no in between. But the crazy part is that she doesn't see it that way. Because to her, she only sees you as either her knight in shining armor or someone who's completely trying to destroy her life. But if you are dealing with someone like Barbara, it's not you, it's her. And if you're wondering why Barbara is acting this way, it's because she has a very intense fear of abandonment. And that's why she will cling to you like you are her lifeline, and always seeking reassurance knowing that you'll never leave or abandon her. If you are in a romantic relationship with Barbara, your relationship is going to feel like you're working overtime. Say, for example, a regular relationship is a 40-hour week. Being in a relationship with Barbara is like an 80-hour week. You constantly have to reassure her, telling her that you're never going to leave her, and you're going to be constantly pulled into extremes, and it's going to leave you really tired and drained. And if you don't want to play along, she will literally make you. And when it comes to friendships, it's no different. She'll pull you in real close, she'll show you a side of her who's really fun to be around, and then bam, out of nowhere, she's going to blow up something that was either real or imagined. And while you thought that you were in a casual conversation, she's going to find some way to flip the script and make her the victim. So if you feel like you're constantly guessing yourself around one person and feeling like you have to always think twice before saying something, you may be dealing with a Barbara. And Barbara is always playing victim. The world is always against her, and people are always trying to hurt her. And when Barbara feels betrayed, whether it was real or imagined, her need for revenge can be ruthless. You might find yourself in petty arguments that spiral out of control, legal threats, public humiliation. She will go as far as exploiting your vulnerabilities that you share to her in confidence, and even sharing your secrets to everyone she knows. So if you meet someone new and she's always telling you about all the high drama things that are happening in her life, it takes two to tango, which means that she is also responsible for all the drama that she's been causing in her own life. If she's not telling everyone that you destroyed her life, she is literally convincing herself that she's the victim and she's the only one being hurt in this. And Barbaras are never wrong. So if you want to end things with Barbara, what you need to do is you need to do so gently. Again, we are dealing with someone who has a deep, triggering fear of abandonment. Do it gradually, and you don't want to make the emotional explosion even worse. All right, now the third person that you should most definitely avoid is Suspicious Sydney. Suspicious Sydney doesn't trust you. And quite honestly, she doesn't even know why you trust anyone at all. To Sydney, the world is just one big group chat where everyone is secretly talking trash about her. Her brain runs at a nonstop loop of, what did she really mean by that? And they definitely left me out on purpose. You might think that you're just rescheduling brunch, but to Sydney, you are declaring emotional war. All of Sydney's friendships operate in a tightrope. One wrong move, and you're either disloyal, deceptive, or you're plotting against her with her enemies. And she has a very long list of enemies. She lives in her head, she overthinks, and she tends to imagine things a lot as well. You didn't tag her in a story? Betrayal. You didn't invite her to a random hangout and she just found out? Cold-blooded execution. Even if you just needed one night in to rejuvenate and to do your self-care, Sydney is already creating a mental list in her head, writing about all the ways that you've betrayed her, all the ways that you've been deceptive, essentially writing down evidence that you are not a true friend. So if I had to write a title for her movie, it would be, Why Can't I Trust Anyone? Her favorite hobby isn't Pilates, it's grudge holding. And Sydney never forgets. If you wronged her once, even if it wasn't intentional for you, she will remember it forever. And she treats group dynamics like it's a high-stakes social survival game. She's constantly scanning around the room for favoritism or trying to decode passive-aggressive energy and just investigating whether she is being singled out or left out. And if she has beef with somebody else and you're friends with her, she would expect you to also have beef with her. She expects you to take sides. And what about romantic relationships? If you're in a relationship with someone like Sydney, it's gonna be pretty darn stressful that every time you say, hey babe, Sydney's gonna respond, hey, who else are you calling babe? And will essentially drive so many new conflict that isn't even that big of a deal. She will overanalyze every single text that you sent. She will analyze timestamps, and she'll even analyze how quickly you're sending those texts. And it's like she's trying to build a case for the FBI. If you're too nice, suspicious. If you're not nice enough, also suspicious. You literally cannot win. And listen, if you do not validate her suspicions, she will actually add you on to her untrustworthy list. Like, for example, if you said, maybe they didn't mean it like that. For her, it's like you're not taking her side, and she will get mad at you. So if you have someone in your life where you're always editing your texts, replaying conversations in your head, or just embracing emotional landmines after a hangout, you are not crazy. You're probably just dealing with a Sydney. So if you're dealing with someone like Sydney, stay neutral, stay as brief as you can. And when she starts spiraling about how everybody is fake and no one is genuine, just say, that sounds like a lot, and just move on. Don't try to solve her problem. Don't try to convince her that her feelings aren't valid. That will only make you more suspicious. Oh, and whatever you do, do not ever try to reason or convince Sydney that her fears are false, because that's Sydney's number one red flag about why she shouldn't trust you. The fourth person that will for sure ruin your life is Dramatic Drew. Dramatic Drew is a self-proclaimed main character in all of his stories, all of his interactions, and essentially his entire life. Because if Drew isn't in the center of attention, what's the point? And sure, they'll tell you that their life is so hard, but we all know that him saying that is all a ploy to get him the most amount of attention. Drew is not very subtle, and in fact, subtlety is a foreign concept to him. Everything is an emergency to him. Every minor inconvenience is an earth-shattering event. If a Starbucks order is wrong, he's gonna go nuts. And he's gonna share with the entire world what happened that day. You'll hear about it with the tears, the drama, and he's not going to miss any detail whatsoever because he always loves to share as much detail as possible to add drama, to add that oomph in every story he shares. Drew's conversations are all a show. While you may think that you're just having a casual catch-up about your life, no. He's gonna make it about him. And you are just gonna be listening to all of his stories, and all you're gonna do is you're just gonna sit there and nod, smile, and continue to listen to him say, no way, oh wow, that's crazy. Because he's not gonna really let you speak. He doesn't really care about what's going on in your life. He only cares about what's happening in his own life. Your job and your only job is to just sit there and listen. And he's also the type of person that loves sharing his own secrets. But it's not because he trusts you. He shares his secrets with everybody so he can have something to talk about. What he thrives off of and what he loves is when your eyes widen and when your jaw drops to the floor. He loves getting some sort of reaction out of people when he's sharing his story. So if you are currently dealing with a Drew, here's the thing. Don't. Seriously, don't. The best thing you can do for yourself is to avoid his drama-infused monologues because you don't need that in your life. Their crisis that they may be pretending, it might just be as small as Amazon forgot to drop off their package. And if you are dealing with someone like Drew, he wants you to also treat his situation like it's an apocalypse. So if you find yourself stuck in one of these convos, just nod and just pretend that you're absorbing the tragedy. And the less that you engage in the conversation, the less energized he's going to feel in sharing his story. If you want to break away from someone like Drew, all you gotta do is just exit and walk away. Find some excuse to get yourself out of the conversation. Oh, I forgot to feed my cat. I gotta go. Or, my work schedule's really busy, but it was nice catching up with you. Do not ever tell Drew the truth. Do not ever tell Drew that he's being overly dramatic, that he's being completely sensitive. Do not be honest with him, because he is going to explode back in your face and he's going to take it personally. The less that you feed into Drew's need for center stage attention, the better off you'll be. And the fifth person, which is the last person who will most definitely ruin your life, is Sociopath Sue. And Sociopath Sue, I would say, is the worst out of the 5 that I'm sharing today. Sociopath Sue is a master manipulator. When you first meet Sue, she's someone who has an incredibly magnetic pull. She's very charismatic, she is very well-spoken, and she has the kind of presence that makes you feel chosen. She's intoxicating, a cocktail of flattery and vulnerability, trauma dumps in week 1, soulmate proclamations in week 2. But beneath all of the smoke and mirrors really lies this one core desire, which is control. While you are speaking to her in a conversation, she is slowly writing down a mental list of your insecurities. She knows exactly what to say to make you feel needed, heard, and indebted. And she knows exactly when to twist it so you would feel guilty, confused, and terrified of losing her approval. And at her core, Sue is a cruel con artist. She really doesn't care about having true bonds. She's only with you, and she only wants to get to know you so she can build up leverage. Sue is really good at violating boundaries. She lies without flinching, deceives without guilt, and when she's being confronted, she smiles sweetly, and she will gaslight you sideways and spins a victim story so good that you're gonna be the one apologizing. And if all of that doesn't work, she ends up escalating the situation. Public shaming, smear campaigns, any way to completely ruin your reputation as a human being. Anything to get her dominance back, because again, control is so important to her. And she's the kind of person that actually enjoys watching your downfall. The craziest thing about Sue is that when you first meet her, you gain a lot of empathy for her, and you connect with her on a deep level because you feel bad for her, and you just believe that she has a big heart and all these horrible things are happening to her. Like, you would say, oh, she's so sweet. Like, she doesn't deserve having all of this happen to her. She's been through so much. And that's the trick. That's how she gets you. She often has this hero-victim combo, and it really tugs your heartstrings. You end up buying it. You protect her. But people like Sue are remorseless, and they're also risk-hungry. Studies have shown that people like Sue actually get calmer when they face confrontation. Her heart rate slows down, and her pupils dilate. It's because conflict truly excites them. They don't just break the rules. They have this core belief that rules are only made for lesser beings. Whether it's cheating, stealing, lying, or even faking an entire life narrative, Sue does so in a very icy, calm manner, and she has this belief that she'll never get caught. And if she does, she knows how to get herself out of it. She can talk herself out of it. And sometimes Sue's cruelty is truly intentional, but a lot of the times she is just trying to get the obstacle out of the way, and she ends up bending the truth, doing all the horrible things that she thinks she needs to do in order to get out of a situation. Either way, do not expect remorse. She will ruin your reputation, drain your entire bank account, and make you question your own mind. But if this is happening to you right now, this is not personal. It truly is her, and she really is the problem. So here are a few red flags in case you do run into a Sue. Number 1, too much praise, way too quickly. You've never been more brilliant, beautiful, amazing, literally until you cross her. Number 2, wildly inconsistent stories. She was a victim, and then a savior, and then both. It's like the stories that she's sharing just never adds up. The third red flag is weird secrecy. She's always hiding her life. She's never sharing explicit details about her own life. She may go missing every once in a while. She may be doing these top secret jobs, and you just never know what's going on in her life. And the last red flag is unrealistic negativity towards her ex-friends and ex-family. And these people were probably people who escaped. Do not be fooled if you meet someone like Sociopath Sue, because she is incredibly charming, and she may come off as someone who checks all of your boxes in a partner or a friendship. But she is incredibly good at pretending. And the worst part is, if you cross her, if you do anything that wrongs her, maybe in her mind imagined as well, you will not get off easy. She does not handle rejection well. You might lose your mutual friends, you might lose your sense of safety, you might even lose your entire social circle. That's why if you are escaping a Sue, it is literally an exorcism. So what do you do if you're in a situation like this? If you meet someone like Sue, trust your gut because your gut is never wrong. If you feel confused, off balance, or over helpful, or if you feel like you're constantly editing yourself, you might be dealing with a Sue. So what do? Google her. Check her legal records. Find out if she's ever been arrested. But a lot of people that are under this category of sociopath Sue may not be directly all the way in that spectrum. And I believe that there are still mild versions of this. So if you ever come across a person like her and you're not really sure, open your ears and start listening if people have had run-ins with her. And if there has been more than 2, 3, 4 occasions where this has happened, then you best know that she's probably someone who's really dangerous to be around. So if you are trying to part ways with someone like Sue, run, block, vanish. And while you're doing that, find some way to protect yourself. Prepare yourself with information, consultation, and have a strong backup plan. Don't try to teach, fix, or reason with her. Don't even provide an explanation about why you're walking out of her life. Just cut things off immediately. And if she ever confronts you, practice what you say in the mirror before you confront her because she is sly, she is slick, she will know how to get to you. So stay strong, don't go back to her, and you should be fine, I think. But seriously though, it probably isn't that big of a deal, but if you are dealing with someone like Sue, just be careful and know that next time, don't allow someone like that in your life ever again. And we have reached the end of this video. Navigating these 5 types of people can be a never-ending drama. But once you know who these people are, you will be so much more equipped to get rid of them, to shake them off, and you will know how to deal with these people when you see them. When you understand these traits, you are going to have a better understanding of who these people are and how to protect yourself. And life is already hard enough. If you are dealing with people romantically or platonically, if you're dealing with these high drama people, it's going to make life a lot harder for you. You won't have the energy to build your business, you won't have the energy to build your career, and you won't have the energy to build meaningful things in your life. So set boundaries, stay grounded, and don't let their chaos pull you in. If you've got relationships like this in your own life and you want to find some sort of action plan to help you integrate everything you've learned in this video and how you can apply it in your own life, I have worksheets, and you can find the worksheets down below where I provide journaling prompts and practical exercises to help you integrate everything and build an action plan. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like because your like will go a long way in helping me spread this video to more people, but also it would help out my channel a ton. And if you've had an experience with a very toxic person that I've shared in this video, I would love to hear your stories. And if you want more content like this, being the best version of yourself, being a high-value woman, and building your best life, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Bye!